Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis was ordered to pay over $20,000 to a conservative watchdog group. The order to pay originated from an open records case from the conservative group Judicial Watch. The group asked Willis's office to provide it with documents pertaining to possible communications with the Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith. Superior Court of Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney ruled Willis's office violated Judicial Watch's open records request by categorizing identifying responsive documents as exempt from the request, but previously saying none of these documents existed. He wrote, quote, "Even if the records prove to be just that, exempt from disclosure for sound public policy reasons, this late revelation is a patent violation of the ORA." McBurney found Willis's office liable for paying Judicial Watch $19,360 in attorney's fees related to the group's efforts in the open records request. Willis was additionally ordered to pay $2,218 in other related legal expenses. McBurney said because Willis did not provide a timely response to the court, she would have to hand over records of all communications with Smith and the January 6th committee to the group. Willis has denied any coordination with Smith.
New at 5:30 in Fordyce, the police chief there says one of his officers has resigned after an unjustified use of force. This centers around a 2023 incident when a teenager was hit by an officer while handcuffed.
The incident captured on body cam video that we're still trying to get, but the chief of police said in a statement that type of behavior is not expected from law enforcement. Tylisa Hampton joining us live now from Fordyce. Tylisa, you've spoken to the chief about this. What did he say and what other details do you have?
Well, Donna and Kevin, the chief, would not go on camera. However, he did tell us that that type of behavior wouldn't be tolerated. We were able to speak with officials from a Central Arkansas organization who said they want to make sure that never happens again.
We found that very disturbing and not an appropriate reaction.
On December 23rd, 2023, Fordyce police say officers were called to help find a 17-year-old who attempted to escape Mill Creek Behavioral Health Facility, which cites as a residential treatment center for children and teens struggling with things like mental and behavioral health issues. In a statement, Chief Chad Hubanks says when officers arrived, they were able to find the teen who tried to avoid restraint. The teen was later placed in handcuffs and placed in the back of the patrol car. However, things took a turn when Chief Eubanks says an officer was seen on video hitting the teen in the face while the teen was already restrained and then verbally berated on the way back to the facility. Reagan Stanford, an attorney with the Disability Rights of Arkansas, says it's unacceptable.
I think obviously there's more training that's needed around working, with people that are in mental health crises, working with youth, responding, understanding the population at these facilities that are in their areas.
Chief Eubanks says every officer in the video is no longer employed with the department, and the officer who was mainly involved in the, quote, unjustified use of force has resigned. He says it also highlighted a lack of relevant training on their behalf, and in response, every officer employed then, now, and in the future will take an additional 12 hours of use of force training every year. And Stanford, that attorney, she also told me that they have been in contact with Fordyce Police on future suggestions for the department. As for the main officer involved in this incident, the chief tells me that that officer will be decertified. And also, we have reached out to the Arkansas State Police and, of course, Fordyce Police for the video. And once we have that, we'll make sure to share it on air and online.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it. We're going to start our day out with some breaking news where this former deputy has been arrested for sexual assault while on duty. Okay, that's not part of your training there, buddy. Laredo, Texas, a 27-year-old former Webb County Sheriff's deputy has been charged for allegedly depriving a victim of their right to bodily integrity and bodily privacy and falsification of records, announced the U.S. Attorney Alamdar S. Hamdandia. Ignacio Rodriguez IV is expected to make his initial appearance before U.S. Magistrate Judge Christopher Dos Santos at 9:41 a.m. January 9th. Whoa, that's this morning, you guys. All right. Federal grand jury returned the sealed 2-count indictment January 7th, which was unsealed upon his arrest. Oh, what's going on then? The indictment alleges that on September 1st, 2024, Rodriguez pulled over a car during the course of his duties. Okay, at that time, he sexually assaulted the victim driver and threatened use of a firearm. Whoa! Kidnapping, bodily injury, aggravated sexual abuse, and abusive sexual contact. Okay, Ignacio, goofball. Okay, according to the charges. During the encounter, he also allegedly turned off his body-worn camera and dash cam, thereby obstructing justice. Jerk. Okay, if convicted, he faces, up to life in prison. As to the civil rights violation, up to 20 years in prison for falsification of records. On top of that life, the charges also carry fines of up to $250,000. Okay, the FBI and Laredo Police Department are conducting the investigation. Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Ann Cortez and also Brandon Scott Bowling are prosecuting the case. Well, good job. All right, do a good job. We don't have a picture of this goofball. Maybe we'll try to find one. Anyways, thank you so much for being here today, folks. I always appreciate it. Now, on with the show.
Former Columbus police officer Joel Medford, who was with the division for more than 10 years, on his way to federal prison. Sentenced to more than 4 years behind bars after admitting to stealing cocaine, some of the drugs locked up in police evidence. Our cameras not allowed in federal court when family, friends, and Columbus police, including several top brass, packed the courtroom as 35-year-old Joel Medford was sentenced to 50 months for his role in a cocaine theft ring. Medford faced life in prison. In August, Medford, who resigned from CPD after his arrest last year, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of cocaine possession with the intent to distribute and money laundering.
It's not enough time for me. The minute this happened, we removed his FOP card. He tarnished the FOP. He tarnished the police department. In my personal opinion, he should spend more time behind bars.
Before being sentenced, Medford became emotional as he said he was sorry to his family, Columbus police, and the community, saying this never should have happened, and apologized to anyone who ended up with the drugs on the street, telling the court, "I would do anything to take back my choices." Medford's the 4th former Columbus police officer to be sentenced as part of this drug trafficking ring. Medford admitted to stealing cocaine with another officer on 2 separate occasions while working drug investigations back in 2020. The drugs then sold on the street. Medford admitted to a role in stealing cocaine from the Columbus Police property room in April 2020 and swapping it out with fake cocaine. Court documents state Medford received $130,000 from the cocaine sales, which, according to the court, will now be forfeited. ABC6 reached out to Columbus Police to learn if any policies or measures have been put into place to prevent similar crimes from happening. We've not heard back.
We could always do better. That's why reform is not a bad word. Reform is not taking everything you do and throwing it out. It's taking what you do and do it better. Let's revisit our policies on background tests, PT tests.
Medford expected to receive credit for the 11 months he's already been behind bars since his arrest last year. Once he is out of prison, he'll be placed on 5 years supervised release.
The prosecutors say they found more criminal conduct by Mayor Eric Adams.
This as the mayor's legal team prepares for its defense against several criminal counts, including bribery. Let's get right to Good Day's Robert Moses. He joins us live this morning from City Hall with the latest. Robert, good morning.
Tashani and Dan, good morning to you. As this case has ebbed and flowed, the mayor's message has stayed consistent, and that is that he has a city to run despite his trial looming in April and despite these new allegations from the U.S. Attorney's Office that it has evidence of, quote, additional criminal conduct by the mayor. The acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, Edward Kim, alluded to that additional criminal conduct in a court filing on Monday night. That filing came in response to a request from the mayor's attorney, Alex Spiro, for what is called a bill of particulars, which is a list of evidence that the government plans to use against the mayor at his trial. The acting U.S. attorney said in so many words that he didn't want to be limited by that list that he would turn over, and he suggested that if he revealed the names of potential witnesses, the mayor could engage in witness tampering. In September's 5-count indictment, the mayor is accused of accepting bribes and illegal campaign contributions from people connected to the Turkish government in exchange for pressuring the FDNY to facilitate the opening of a Turkish consular building on the east side near the United Nations. In that Monday filing, the acting U.S. attorney did not reveal what the mayor's alleged additional criminal conduct is, but the mayor certainly fired back here at City Hall yesterday.
Even Ray Charles can see what's going on. and I have an attorney, Alex Spiro, is handling that. I've said over and over again, I've done nothing wrong.
In a statement, Spiro said, "This is amateur hour. They are just looking for a headline instead of doing the right thing. I assume we're at the point where New Yorkers are not falling for it." So far, no comment from the U.S. Attorney's Office, so we don't yet know when or even if there could be more criminal charges coming. But again, as it stands right now, the mayor is set to stand trial in that 5-count indictment. In April, he has pleaded not guilty.
We have an update tonight on the case of former Huntsville police officer David McCoy, who's accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend. McCoy is facing capital murder charges, with the state seeking the death penalty. A new order filed by Madison County judge pushes back his trial date. Joining us with the latest developments in McCoy's case file, News 19 investigative reporter Dallas Parker.
That's right, Lauren. McCoy's defense team asked the court to delay the trial, originally set for January 27th of this year. David McCoy's attorneys argue they need more time to complete a mitigation investigation that could impact the jury's decision in this capital murder case. This includes a deeper dive into McCoy's military records to build a better defense. McCoy, a former HPD officer, as we just said, is accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend. And according to investigators during his preliminary hearing, McCoy lied about knowing the woman and helped case her murder scene before a photo of the two was discovered, connecting the dots for police. Now, McCoy's attorneys requested the trial be postponed, citing incomplete investigations into that military background. They argue that these records are crucial for presenting evidence that could persuade the jury to opt for life without parole rather than the death penalty in this case. The defense referenced key Supreme Court cases underscoring the importance of thorough mitigation in capital cases, especially for veterans. They claim additional time is needed to gather and analyze these records, and the motion also cites constitutional protections under both the U.S. and Alabama law, arguing that moving forward without these documents could undermine McCoy's right to a fair trial. The longtime criminal defense attorney Mark McDaniel says effective mitigation is critical in cases like these.
We're talking about life and death here in a capital case, and what the defense has to do is they should do is bring forth any mitigating circumstance that would lead the jury to vote for life instead of death.
Now, Madison County Circuit Judge Allison Austin, who is presiding over this case, granted the unopposed motion for continuance. According to court records, the trial will now begin September 8th of this year.
List. You've probably heard the term before. That's the list of police officers caught lying, committing crimes, or doing something else that raises questions about their integrity. Now, no one's investigated Brady List more than Chief Investigator Dave Biskobing.
And tonight, Dave's back. He just learned a top Phoenix cop just got her name taken off that list.
Like you heard, one of the highest members of the Phoenix Police Department requested to get her name taken off the Brady List. Now, her fellow cops tipped us off about it, and it all raises some questions. One, how often is this happening? And two, is illegal. Inside the Phoenix Police Department, you won't find many women ranked higher than Commander Julia Gia. She commands the Central City Precinct. It's easy to find. Just Google her name. It pops right up, first link on the search list. But after getting a tip, we discovered back in October, she requested to get her name taken off the Brady List. What did you think reading through her appeal, her request to get taken off the Brady List?
I mean, first off, I was incredibly shocked that someone can request to be removed from the Brady List.
Ben Rundle is a civil rights attorney. He knows a lot about Brady Lists. We'll tell you more about all of that later. But bottom line, he believes Commander Agia still belongs on the Brady List.
This absolutely goes to her integrity.
Let's start at the beginning. Back in March 2003, Commander Agia was an officer. Her maiden name, Spears. And while attending a gang seminar on city business, she repeatedly left hours early and arrived late. She also completed the attendance roster for her husband, Officer Rafael Agia, on days that he did not attend. The internal investigation against her was sustained. Do you think that initial decision, that's Brady material?
Well, let's just say it how it is. I mean, you're lying for another officer. That's what this is. So she not only lied about her own attendance, but she lied for another officer. That's what this is, and that's why she was put on the Brady List.
Flash forward more than 20 years, and Commander Agia filed this 4-page appeal. It asked the Maricopa County Attorney's Office to take her name off the list. In part, Agia wrote, "She didn't have any reason to believe my husband would not attend. He specifically told me he would attend. He was not feeling well when I left in the morning to participate, but it was my belief when I signed the attendance roster for him that he would attend." She added, "Today people sign into training for each other. It might be because someone is running late or they are one person ahead of them in line, and they do it as a courtesy." Commander Agia also wrote, there is nothing I did in the entirety of this investigation that questions my integrity. I mean, basically, she says, hey, what happened 20 years ago was not that big of a deal. It's not something that should, you know, be a part of the Brady List anymore. I mean, I guess in short, do you agree with her position? Do you think that that was fair for her to ask?
No, I don't agree with that position.
As we've covered in dozens of past stories, Brady lists get their name from the 1963 U.S. Supreme Court case, Brady v. Maryland. In short, police and prosecutors can't withhold exculpatory evidence, and that includes past cases of dishonesty and other officer misconduct.
At its core, it might seem innocent, but if you're willing to lie and lie for other officers in something as simple as training, where else are you likely lying? How else are you likely lying? Ben
Rundle is serious about Brady lists and about making sure officers get questioned about their paths. Here's why.
Yes. Passes 7-0.
With a quick vote, Phoenix City Council ending a major lawsuit, a $650,000 settlement now going to Frances Salazar. She's a grandmother who spent nearly 2 years in prison, wrongfully convicted because police hid their officers' history of lying.
Rundle represented Frances Salazar, and during their lawsuit, they discovered broader evidence showing Phoenix police repeatedly withheld Brady material, and top cops had no idea how Brady worked. And to this day, we continue to cover cases where Brady violations are having a major impact.
The court found this Phoenix homicide detective lied, repeatedly mishandled evidence, and then she received a confidential disability retirement and claimed to be too unwell to even testify. We broke all those stories. This scandal, though, just caused a judge to throw out a conviction, and it's likely to lead to appeals in dozens of other cases.
They're playing games with Brady. They're playing games with officer misconduct. And this is really easy. I think this is important. This is easy stuff. If there's officer misconduct that's been confirmed by the officer's own department, you have to turn that over. Full stop. No questions asked. Why don't these agencies, after everything that's happened over the years, why don't they understand it?
So now the big question. How many officers have requested and then gotten their names taken off the Brady list? The county attorney's office says they don't track that. So we've filed a public records request for every appeal and removal for their office, and we'll let you know what we find. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing.
And just like that, we're out of here. Let's hope we have a slow day tomorrow. Okay. I really enjoy seeing you guys. You're awesome. You make putting up with this bad news more than bearable. You make it fun, and I appreciate it. So I hope you have a great day, and I'm most likely going to whip up another batch of Bad Apple just for you. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Have a great day.